Found it! Hello everyone. Well, look, I've actually got my box cutter. I had to buy a new piece of furniture behind me in order to have a drawer just to keep the box cutter in, so I never ever lose it again. In hindsight, it might have been cheaper to buy several box cutters and just spread them about the house, but anyway, it's done now. So once I finish the video, this box cutter is going back in the drawer. Anyway, this is a Dyson, another Dyson to fill another gap, and it's the last of the Motorhead canister Dysons. In fact, well, it's the last I'm going to buy unless I find a new one, but it's actually the first, certainly in the UK, it's the first cylinder or canister vacuum that Dyson launched that has a motorised nozzle. This is of course the Dyson DC05 Motorhead. Now, I didn't pay a lot of money for this. I can't remember how much, but it wasn't a lot. So I don't have high hopes for this. Apparently there's something wrong with the head, it turns on and off or something. There'll be some fault with it, but this will be a project. I can still buy a lot of parts for this. So I think all the small tools are intact, so at least that's one thing I won't have to buy. Right then, let's have a look at it. Okay, first out of the box we have the hose. It's quite a long one. A bit dirty, but it will wash. I'll have to be careful when washing this because it's an electric hose, so I can't submerge this in water. I will be able to get the outside of this clean as long as I don't let any water get into it. But yes, that is very good. Maybe it doesn't have all the tools. Looks like it's missing the stair tool, but the two tools that it's got here seem to be in fairly good shape. A little bit of dirt on this dusting brush, but the condition of that, once it's cleaned up, that's very good. And also we've got crevice tool, a little bit more used but still in pretty good condition, so that's pleasing. So obviously this is the end that goes into the machine, and this is the power takeoff, or the connection that goes into the power takeoff socket on the actual cleaner itself, obviously to provide power to the remote control handle and the power head. And I'm not sure if this turns the machine on and off. It's a while. I did have one of these back in the day and it was in very good condition, but it was in my get rid of everything phase, well, one of them, and I sold all my Dysons. That's in pretty good shape though. It's got a nice swivel. The hose, in fact, it swivels on this end too. So if it's cutting out, the problem could be with the hose, and sometimes it's just a case of cleaning the contacts with some contact spray cleaner, so that might be all that's needed. So let's see, what's that button do? I can't remember. I wonder if I can still get the instruction book for this. So there is a slide control. So I think, as far as I remember, it doesn't turn the machine on and off, it just controls the motor head. So you've got a hard floor setting, which obviously is suction only, so the brushes in the motor head don't rotate. Then you've got carpet setting, obviously the brushes will rotate, and then you've got the Zorb. Actually no, that's the carpet setting. And then you've got the Zorb, because you can apply Zorb, well, not apply it, you can agitate Zorb powder into the carpet, and I think the Zorb setting, from what I remember, turns the machine off, so you've got no suction, you've just got the brushing action of the motorised head, and then obviously when the Zorb is dried you switch to carpet mode and suck it up. So hopefully I'll be able to show you that. I've got some Zorb. So there we go, that's in pretty good shape. Yes, here it is. Yes, this is a little bit more battered. Occasionally you can find these new on eBay. They'll be quite expensive. It's not in bad shape actually. The brushes aren't bad. It's a little bit grubby as you'd expect. The little strip though at the back is more or less worn away. That might be able to, I've seen the base plate for sale recently, and if the base plate incorporates the squeegee as well, that would be good. Yeah, it's not too bad actually. A little bit damaged there. But yeah, so that's the Motorhead. It's pretty light, certainly compared to the huge behemoth Motorhead that I've got with my DC21 and DC23 Motorhead cleaners. But there we go. So yeah, it won't really add much to the weight and bulk of the cleaner having a Motorhead this compact. You know, they have the technology to make more compact Motorheads, so why we don't get them in the UK, you know, I don't know. Right, so, well, I think it's because they won't sell as well. Here's the wand. Again, I think these occasionally pop up from time to time, brand new. But, you know, with a clean and maybe a little bit of metal polish. Obviously, this is not going to polish up shiny. It is a matte finish. But I should get that looking better. But of course, as I say, it is metal, not plastic. How do you pull it out? Oh yes, it's that bit, isn't it? There we go. Yeah. There we are. Yeah. That's in pretty good shape. Pleased so far. Right, out comes. So this, at the time of making the video, this will be my third DC05 cleaner. You will have seen me unbox the new in the box DC05 base model. At the time of making this video, I'm not sure you'll have seen it yet, but I do have a DC05 with a turbo head in a lime green. That's also new in the box. Right. Ooh. Now I didn't know that. Let's have a look at this in more detail, and there's something quite surprising about this DC05. Now, what's surprising to me about this DC05 is the fact that it's clear. Now, I'm sure the one I had before wasn't. It was grey and purple, and of course it would have the clear bin. Now, I will be able to buy a new bin for this. Certainly. But even still, once that's cleaned up, that isn't too bad. It looks far better on video than it does in real life, but it still looks pretty good. Let me. Oh, I'm getting a whiff. Hang on. Yeah, it smells. Ooh, it does. Oh, it smells a bit, folks. Pooh. Ooh, that stinks. Ugh. Anyway, I'll have no trouble washing that out. These, I think, are dual cyclone, and I believe it'll be a little bit easier to disassemble for a more thorough soaking, which is what I will do. It's clean enough, though. It isn't bad. Look at this. You see, this is often the case. I don't know if it works yet, but it's often the case. I buy something quite cheaply and think it's not going to be any good. I think it was on a buy it now. I'll have a look actually before the end of the video how much it costs me, because a lot of you ask. I don't know why you'd be interested. But this is what is surprising to me extremely. So any Dyson experts, I don't ever recall this. It's dirty, but look, it's clear. It's got the clear top, and definitely the one I had was grey. It was not clear. You can see the motor. I mean, a lot of this is surface dust. I might have to dismantle this. I think it'll be fairly easy to dismantle one of these, clean the internal parts, because you can see them. They're all on show. That is, and I couldn't see this in the listing. It's a poor picture, I think. I couldn't see it. Look underneath. You can see. Wow, that is a surprise. Well, it's made in Malaysia. But let's have a look anyway. Dyson experts can date this for me, possibly. Let's have a look at the old rating sticker. So it's a Dyson DC05, serial number 079 UK 514076, and it is a 1250 watt motor. I'm not sure if that incorporates the wattage of the powerhead. Of course, made in Malaysia by Dyson Limited. Right, so what sort of date is this then, folks? I can see the wattage of the Motorhead on this label here, and it's in fact a 60 watt. So I think the wattage on the machine is independent. It's not listing the Motorhead wattage as well. So yeah, 60 watt motor inside the Motorhead. So here we have the back of the unit. You've got your little parking bracket here. I think this might have come with a hard floor head as well. I'll check that. I think they normally would have done. There's the bracket to hold the motor head anyway. And there's no filter, but I'm not bothered about that. You can buy those very cheaply if you want a non-Dyson filter, but even the genuine Dyson filter for this particular model, I don't think it'll be that expensive. So that's fine, I'm not bothered about that. I think it takes the same filter as the DC14. That's another Dyson I haven't got, but I've got news. I'll tell you about some gaps I'm hoping to fill in my Dyson collection locally. I've just discovered something, but I'll tell you that towards the end of the video. But, you know, it's dusty in there, but it's not filthy. It should work without the filter. And, now, there is no, I don't know if that's, yeah, possibly you do turn the machine on and off using the remote handle, unless it's missing. Because, as you can see, this side, we've got the auto cord rewind, which might need a bit of greasing up. Yeah. Got the auto cord rewind button, and of course on the regular DC05s there would be an on-off button here. So either that's missing or is supposed to be missing, because looking inside, because I can see more or less inside, there's no internal wiring, so I'm assuming it does turn on and off using the switch on the motor head. Well, I do like the DC05s. They're a lot more compact than some of the later models, especially the DC23. That's absolutely massive. It's a HEPA filter. This, you know, this would have been clear. I'm really surprised by this. I can't get over the fact it's all clear like this. So that's easy to wash. That comes off easily. So, ooh, yeah. I think I'll be, I don't think that's washable. I'll check. I don't think it is. It might be. I might risk washing it unless it's made of paper. It says it's a permanent filter. I don't think you can wash it. Doesn't matter. It was cheap enough. As long as it works, I'm fine about buying 2 new filters. I'll buy a new bin, I expect. I'll buy whatever I can actually to make this cleaner as new looking as it can be. It's nowhere near as good as condition as the one I had. You know, I had so many vacuums before I did this YouTube thing. You know, I've got some very early VHS camera footage. You can see some of that on my other channel, Roger's Bits and Doings, but a lot of the vacuum related stuff I have put on this channel. Recorded, you know, in the 80s onwards, from the sort of mid to late 80s into the 2000s. I was making videos before YouTube, but I didn't video all my vacuums. But yeah, I had a DC05 Motorhead, but yeah, it was almost mint, but it wasn't clear. Definitely was not clear like this one. Okay, well, let's see if it's going to work for me. Let's hope so. If the motor's fine, I can, you know, deal with the other issues this machine has. How does that go on? That's it. Hang on, I don't think I've put the top of this on properly. On the top of the Cyclone, there's the usual suction relief valve, rather big. They tend to incorporate them much better into the design of vacuum cleaners now. You often don't see where the suction relief valve is, but most vacuum cleaners have this. All this does is prevent the motor from overheating, so if the filters are blocked or you don't empty the machine to continue air flowing through, often this will act. The little spring in there will activate, will move, allowing air through there and into the system to keep the motor cool. You'll always know normally when that activates because you'll hear a suction noise coming from a different place. And got some stickers on the top, bit poor condition. Motorized brush bar for higher dust pickup. Fingertip power R and brush control. So yes, you do turn it on by the looks of it from the handle. And it says wash filter every 6 months. I'd love to wash it every 6 months. If there was a filter. Right, let me just pop this together. I can't see how it, oh yes, oh that's right. There we go. That's how it goes with that little button there at the front. So then it goes on. Does smell, really does smell. What am I doing wrong here? Are you all laughing at me? Oh, this goes, yes, I'm trying to put it, that's it. There we are. Right. Yeah, it's a little bit dirty, but it's not bad. I wonder if it will work without the hose attached. Yeah. Let's see, shall we? I'm really phobic about cord rewinds. When many years ago, one of the springs, I was trying to fix one and the spring flew off in my face. Disfigured me for life. Right, I'm going to plug in. I'm just going to see if it will power up actually without the hose attached. Might do. No, it doesn't. Right, I've switched it off at the socket. Let's attach the hose. Yeah, so it is missing. I think if I wait patiently enough, or if I search soon, I'll be able to get the old stair cleaning hose to match. So, yeah, it goes in that way, doesn't it? There we are. So hose plugs into there, just pushes in, doesn't click into place. Actually, it might be easier if I first attach the hose with the connector into here. Look, that's where it connects up. So you push that in. That should click if I do it right. Hang on. Yeah, it's in place. It hasn't clicked, but it is in. Then I can push the hose into position. Right. Now. Right, it's in the off position. Just back away a little bit. Wow. Phew. Smelly. Now that sounds fine to me. And it's pretty powerful. Of course, there's no filter and the bin's empty, but yes, with a good clean out, new filters, it will smell sweet again. Right, let's see. I think you can connect this directly. You see, if there is a problem, it just said about cutting out, and I think it meant the motor head. Now, if this works fine without cutting out, the problem will be in the wand, I expect. Right, let's see if this works. Ah, I thought I turned it off and I haven't. That's obviously in Zorb mode, so the brushes are going round a bit slower in order to agitate the Zorb powder into the carpet. There's a little green light. You just about see it. It's very bright in here, but there's the green light there. Yeah, I did notice. Yeah, look, there is some sort of a short. I did notice when I turned it, it stalled. Now it could just be a connection that needs cleaning. I think that's all it will be. I might have fixed it by the time you see this, or what normally happens is I do the video and then box it up thinking one day I'll have time to look at that. So possibly, if that's a scenario and I haven't fixed this, if you've any clues why this will be cutting out, where should I look first, what should I undo, any of you who've serviced these, I'd be grateful if you could let me know. Anyway, I'm really pleased with it though. I will check how much it was. I'm just going to see. I'm just going to use it normally in upright mode. I don't really use it much. Well, I've just vacuumed anyway. It's not. Whoops! It's not going to pick up much dirt. Obviously, there's no filter in it. Yeah, but it's nice. A nice little dinky machine with the power head. Yeah, I'm really pleased with it. Yeah, so there's a definite short in the system somewhere, but I was expecting that, so I'm not disappointed. I don't think it's going to be something major. It seems worse with the wand connected. but it might not be the wand. I think it could well be, the problem could well be somewhere in the motor head. Now obviously, to fix that problem, if I can buy a new motor head, I'd like one actually, then I'll just replace the motor head. Let's try it again. I keep forgetting that when I switch it off, I keep pulling it back to switch it off, the switch here, but that doesn't switch it off. You have to push it forward. Pulling it right back just has the zorb function. So you might be able to hear the motor of the motor head. So look, that's not so bad. I'm twisting it about, that's still going. So perhaps it isn't. The fault may be in the wand, but it don't seem to cut out when I turn the motor on. No, that doesn't seem bad actually. So it could just be a case of, I mean, it might just be simple. I'm not sure how I'd take the wand apart. There is one of the little star-shaped screws there to take that part off. And that seems to be about it. But I might get away. I've got some contact switch cleaner. I might get away with just squirting that around the contacts. That might just fix it. But I don't think it's major. I think it's something that I should be able to do myself. Let's just try it again. I'll just collapse the wand. Yeah, I think, whoops. I think the problem is in the wand, because when I have the wand fully retracted, I was twisting it about, it didn't cut off, but as soon as I extended the wand slightly, then I noticed it was cutting out. So I'll be on the lookout for a new wand possibly. I'll try, you know, the old switch contact cleaner. But all in all, it's pretty good. I will check in a minute for those who want to know how much it cost me. I think the flexi wind is going to be sluggish. Yeah. Hopefully that will just, you know, just be able to spray some lubricant around that or do something. If it's cleaned up, again, it's just a little niggle. I'm not bothered. I'm just glad to have a Motorhead in pretty good condition. You know, it's dirty, but it's not. There doesn't seem to be anything, you know, snapped on it. I think these are pretty robust cleaners, and for a powerhead cleaner, it's quite compact and quite light. So yeah, I'm really quite chuffed with this. This has been in my garage for a few days. I didn't have time to open it, so I just shoved it in the garage and thought, oh right, it's my day off. Let's have a look at this Dyson, and yeah, really cheesed. I was going to say pleased or chuffed. So yes, really cheesed. I'm really cheesed with this. That's a new word I've invented, meaning pleased and chuffed at the same time. You might not know what chuffed means if you're an American. It just means I'm very happy. Well, I've just got the original listing up on eBay, and this only cost me £29.99, £30 with £7.99 delivery. Says seems to work and suck fine, but head sometimes the green light goes off. I think that means goes off. Solder spares or repairs, uncleaned, has 2 of the small onboard tools, but didn't say it was missing the filter. But I'm not bothered, you know, £30, £38 for a Dyson Motorhead that needs a bit of attention, but I'm really pleased with that.